You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for joining me here today. Can't wait to get into our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday, where we are going to be re-reviewing the one-day reset diet, sometimes referred to as the one-day diet. And this is something that I created not too long ago. I mean, the grand scheme of things, really only about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was private wellness client driven. It was literally working with people that were starting to do it on their own because their instincts were telling them something and they were following them. And it's something that I'm really big on, is that once you get your body healthy, you are going to know when something is right for your body or when it's wrong, that it is not within unison with you living a healthy life. And I'll tell you right now, too many people are saying they should be using an instinctive-based diet. You should not use an instinctive diet until you get your body healthy. Because sometimes when you're very anxious, you want to eat all the time. And so you say, okay, well, I need to eat. Or sometimes you get really anxious and you don't want to eat anything. Well, it doesn't actually mean that you shouldn't eat anything. In both scenarios, your body is saying, eat, we need more serotonin, we need more dopamine, or don't eat, your levels of cortisol are too high. So I don't necessarily believe in instinctual-based eating in the beginning. But once you get your body healthy, I absolutely do believe in it. And that is really how this one-day reset diet came about. 24-hour diet, one-day diet, however you want to think about it. I'm going to explain it to you here today. And then I'll also give you just a one-page short PDF. So the reason why that it came about, and I talked about this in episode 1019, so almost exactly a year ago, and I want to bring it up again now, and this is why. You're most likely going to need this during the holidays. I honestly believe it, and I'm finding more and more even right now. But I use it in some way, shape, or form 3 to maybe even 4 Mondays a month. So basically once a week, I do this on a Monday. Now, I'll give you the way that I do it. But first, I'm going to share with you essentially how it came about, even just for my clients doing it on their own. So what we have, most people in our wellness-based community, they say, well, I don't really know how much I'm ready to commit yet. I don't really know what I want to do. I'm going to start walking a little bit more and, start thinking more about my health. And maybe they read the rain barrel effect and they start to eat a little bit more plant-based, and all of those are the right steps. Like that's perfect. Again, I don't need to push you any faster than you want to push yourself. I'm here to help at whatever stage you're ready for, but I don't need you to get to any stage right away. I want to do what's right for you. And so that's what I find. And then people say, okay, I'm ready for that next step. I'm eating a little bit better, starting to walk a little bit more, starting to get the family a little bit more into it. Okay. So then they do a detox. And the detox, whether they do the 7, 14, or what I call the life-changing 21-day detox, doing that functional medicine detox changes them. No matter what it is, even if it's the 7-day. Because if they need to lose weight, they're going to lose weight. And if they needed to improve overall digestion and overall puffiness and swelling and all sorts of different issues, it's going to help with that. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we guarantee it. So I can say that because we literally guarantee it. And when we first started doing that, everybody thought we were insane. It's like, how can you guarantee results? Well, the thing is, we're only in this industry to get people the results that they want. Because for the most part, it's kind of a shady industry. I think the top people are really trying to do a good thing for people, try to help people, show them the way. But there's a lot of people, and a lot of them spend the most amount of money. And what you find is that they offer you pretty cheap things that don't really work, or they never had a private practice and then they just wanted to do this to try to make money or whatever it might be. And it's all the wrong reasons. So we just say, listen, we know people are skeptical. We're just going to guarantee it. But we also know it works because long before we ever offered this to the public, we were doing it in a private practice for a decade. So what people basically do is they start to walk up, this health-based ladder. So they do a detox and they see tremendous benefit. Well, the first 2 days of that are 4 shakes a day. They do a shake essentially an hour or so after waking, another 3.5 hours later, another 3.5 hours later, and then another 3.5 hours later. So they're always getting hydrated and they're always getting nutrients their body needs to detox. And that's why part of it's so effective. And they're doing that for 2 days. And then on Wednesday, they still have the shake in the morning. They have lunch that day. So we're getting a 2.5 day autophagy-based fast that is clearing the body out, especially if it's been years of building up toxins, which most people have. So they feel a difference. Okay. So they say, how can I get that feeling every week I can't detox every week? And that's how it came about. You can't do a functional medicine detox every week. That's not what it's meant for. You do it depends on how people live their life. So I don't want to get too deep in that. Check out the right way to complete a 7-14 or 21-day detox. I'll find that for you right now. I'm pretty sure it's episode 823. So StephenCabral.com/823. If you've never heard about a functional medicine detox, check out that show. That will tell you all about it. I'm not going to go over the detox today. But since we know that we're not going to be doing a detox, most people, they do it like our community does, which is every 12 weeks. I do it myself. I do it every January, the first week of every April, or the last week of March, depending on when I get back from my family trip in March. And then I do one right before the 4th of July every single year. And then I do one in September. And I've been doing this now for many years. I've done over 24 detoxes. And I really feel why I feel stronger, more energetic, and I feel like I need even less sleep, although I don't take advantage of that with every passing year, and that shouldn't happen, right? You shouldn't get older and then feel better. That's not supposed to happen in our society, but I'm telling you right now, it can. I mean, maybe there'll be a tipping point, right? Like maybe I'll get to, 78 years old, and then I'll say, oh, well, I don't have as much energy as I had last year. I still feel pretty good, but not as much. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm hoping that by that time, there'll be even more out there that will help with us. I mean, I keep my mind optimistic. Why not? I mean, what's the alternative? You might as well stay optimistic. And there's so much that we can do. I mean, there's so much. But today we're talking about how do we get those results and how do we keep those results coming? And that's what I want to bring you today. So since we know that we do the detox every quarter, what can we do on a weekly basis? That's how I look at it. Or maybe it's only every couple weeks. I'm okay with that too. Here's how it came about. I have a lot of clients, and some of them are well-to-do, some not as well-to-do. But I'll tell you, pretty much all of them, like to have a good time on the weekend, and they like to go with friends, and they like to entertain, and they like to maybe just go out with their spouse, and they have a nice meal. And that nice meal, maybe it's something like what I do, which is typically pasta, and it's bread, and you're just enjoying those foods that you love, right? You're not worried about health-based repercussions because you say, listen, I'm doing the right thing 9+ times out of 10 meals. On Saturday night, I'm going to enjoy myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or during a Patriots football game on Sunday, I'm going to enjoy myself. And again, in my opinion, that's part of life if you choose to do it. Now remember, first you have to get yourself healthy, okay? Health first. I, for many years, didn't do those things because I was trying to get myself healthy. And the slightest thing, not enough sleep one night, really poor meal, it set me back for days, okay? But now my body's healthy. It's been healthy for a long time now. So what do? Well, I enjoy myself on the weekend. Not every meal, but I'm having a cheat meal for sure once a weekend. And I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And so after that, though, let's say it is a Patriots football game and it's a 1 o'clock game or so, and I'm having whatever it might be. I don't know what it is. So I'm eating that, and I really don't even feel like I want dinner that night. So again, maybe I have a little something, maybe I don't with my family. But it is days like those that the next day you might be a little bit groggier because you used all that energy for digestion, or you're a little bit more weighed down, or your lymphatic system's a little congested from that extra fat on the diet or heavy protein, whatever it might be. That is the day to complete a 1-day reset diet. That's what it's all about. Those are the days. You have to have this 1-day reset. I just call it like hitting that reset button, right? Here's how to do it without having to do a full 7-day detox, although it does not replace that, okay? You still have to do that. I still highly recommend it. It's the highest recommendation I can give you. If you do nothing else, every 12 weeks, do a 7-day detox. Start with a 21 ideally, but ideally, you'll still do a 7-day every quarter. That's my highest recommendation for everything across the board. Wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so the 1-day detox is this. You have multiple ways to do it. But the easiest way to do it, and in my opinion now, for the most part, one of the healthiest ways to do it, especially if you had a couple drinks the day before or you just feel weighed down and you need the energy and you need the hydration, is you're going to do a specific shake about an hour, hour and a half after waking, another one around lunch, and I'll get to the second half of the day in a second because that might switch for some people. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let's say that it's my scenario. Okay, so I have some family over, I have friends over, and we're watching the Patriots game at 1 o'clock. Or let's say it's even a later in the day game. Let's say it's a 4 o'clock or so game, 4:30. Watching the game, and we have all sorts of food. We have nachos, and we have all sorts of different things, guacamole, and just tons and tons of food. And we're enjoying ourselves. Maybe we even have a drink. Okay, so I'm not eating anything that night because I'm so stuffed. I ate so much food, and that night I had an okay night's sleep. Not the best because I was trying to digest 2.5 pounds of food, whatever it might be. And that next day, no matter what, I already have built into my schedule that Monday is my reset day. Okay, I just call it a fasting day, but it's a reset day. That's what I'm doing. Okay, because maybe I had a cheat Friday night and then maybe I had one Sunday, whatever it might be, right? Again, once you meet your goals, you get to decide. I don't do more than 2 cheat meals per week, but oftentimes it's twice a week. And so what I do then on that Monday is I'll wake up. I already have my system in place. Now you can copy this. You can do multiple different variations. I'm not forcing you into the variation. I want you to choose the one that's best for you. Now, I'll give you a harder version, and then I'll give you a little bit easier version, and then I'll give you the easiest version, which is, for the most part, what many of my private wellness clients do, and many people all over the world, because we have a really nice global-based community at cabralsupportgroup.com. You're welcome to join. It's a completely free Facebook group. You can ask questions, get support, meet other people, pretty amazing people. So the first one is this. You can simply wake up, and you can fast an Ayurvedic way, which is sipping on hot water and lemon, or hot water and ginger, or hot water and ginger and lemon, a couple sips of water every 15 minutes throughout the day. And I mentioned this before, but when people say like, oh, where'd this whole hot water and lemon or hot water and ginger come from? Well, that's Ayurvedic. Why? By sipping in that hot water, you are helping for better lymphatic flow. Heat helps with liver processing, not cold. It's the opposite. Heat helps. Ginger is heating, and that also helps as well. Ginger's been shown to be very, I don't like the word cleansing, but we'll use it here, cleansing for the bowels, which are your intestines, for the kidneys, and for your liver. All right? So when we look at that, that's a really simple, easy way. You'll simply fill up a liter or so, a couple liters, with hot water. Hopefully you just drink a liter by lunch and then a liter, let's say, by the second half of the day. That's all you do, okay? You just do a simple Ayurvedic fast, hot water and ginger, hot water and lemon. Every 15 minutes, you can just set a little timer if you'd like, and you just sip. That's it. Just a little bit, let it come in. Why the 15 minutes? All it does is ease of digestion. Your stomach's never full, just a little bit. That's all. So that's a simple way that I learned when I was actually over in India, and it was just a nice way for people to actually bring their mind back to their body. And that was every 15 minutes. We would just sip, that's it. Okay, so pretty easy. The next way is this, that you are just going to not worry about the water, not worry about any of those things. You're simply going to allow yourself to do either a tea, water, or a fast until lunch. That's it. Okay, so pretty simple, not the whole day, but just to lunch. And then for lunch, you might have a plant-based meal, or you might do a smoothie, and then you do dinner that night. Okay, that works. That's easy to do. I don't recommend for most people that you fast all 16 hours or 18 hours every single day. And that's simply because of stress, and it's because of thyroid, and it's because of female hormones like higher levels of estrogen to progesterone. And the only reason I can tell you that, and I can tell you that with great confidence, is that we lab test thousands of people. And so we get to see those numbers. And that's the benefit we have that not a lot of other people have. Now, can some people fast to lunch every single day? Yeah, some people can. Some people absolutely can, but most can't. And so I just want to throw that out to you. Now, that doesn't mean that, again, we recommend intermittent fasting. We recommended it before it was cool. Like that is something that we're huge believers in. It's the closest thing I believe that we have to the fountain of youth. But I believe most people are fasting incorrectly. I'll be teaching that more during our weight loss system coming out this January. But in my opinion, what we need to do is get people stopping their meals, their dinners earlier in the night, fasting more through the night, and then not having their fast go as long in the first half of the day. And again, if we went back many thousands of years ago, and you would tell someone, don't eat anything. Yeah, I know you're going to be working all morning. I know you're going to be driving the kids around. I know you're going to be stressed. Don't eat anything. They would look at you like you were crazy. Like, well, what am I doing to fuel my body? They're not saying, oh, I need to tap into body fat. No, of course, they're going to tap into body fat because they're not overeating throughout the day. It's mainly a plant-based diet. They're not going super heavy at one meal. They're eating because they're one with nature. Like, we've lost touch with that. You don't need to deprive yourself. You just have to have your Ayurvedic times of the day to eat. And I did a podcast on that as well. So you can check that out, the Ayurvedic times of the day. It's when you eat, when you work, when you sleep. There are ways that we can live longer by tapping into the natural rhythms of this world. We're not nocturnal. You can't see at night. You can't. You don't have night vision. If you were in the wild, you would be prey to all of the animals that have nocturnal vision, which means you can't sleep during the day because you can't be up at night. You need to sleep at night. And that includes normal hours when the sun goes down. Anyway, I did a separate show on that. That's the other part, okay? We like fasting. We love fasting. I recommend 12 hours to 14 hours from about 6 at night to about 8 in the morning for most human beings. 6 to 6, 7 to 7, all of that works, okay? But one day a week, you go a little bit longer. And that could be your ginger tea morning. It could just be drinking 1.5 liters of water before lunch. And that could have some daily fruit and vegetable blend in it. It could have the crisp apple daily fruit and vegetable blend for no sugar, but lots of flavor, and you get all your greens in there. That could work. You could do vegetable juicing. Any of those are fine. That's totally fine as well. And then, so you have your fasting all day, or you can fast just to lunch. Again, we're only talking about one day of the week. Okay, it's a day that you kind of overdid it the day before. That's how I look at it. You overdid it. You need to now hit that reset button, all right? That's what I love to do. Or sometimes it's a travel day. I do that on travel days all the time. I mean, I just traveled. I was literally in the air for more time than I was on the ground for the most part, not counting sleeping time, last week when I was in Las Vegas for a convention. So I flew in Wednesday night. I had all-day meetings on Thursday. I flew out Friday morning. And so when I do those types of trips, there typically is a good amount of fasting. Like Friday was fasting. Early to the airport, I'm not going to eat airplane food. And then I get home late afternoon, and that's when I'm going to eat. Okay, I'm going to break my fast. I'm going to eat. And so you can kind of choose different ways of doing it, and whatever works for you. But now let me simplify this just a little bit more. A lot of people in our community use the daily nutritional support shake. What is it? Well, it's every vitamin that your body needs. It's antioxidants. It's all the minerals and electrolytes you need for energy. It's daily detox components. And it's also things that help ramp up that natural detox-based process, like N-acetylcysteine, and it has sulforaphane, a lot of those great products that allow you just on a daily basis to kind of keep up with the onslaught of the environment. Well, the one-day reset that essentially my clients were doing even before I was doing it was just waking up on a Monday morning or whatever day of the week that you want it to be. Maybe you went out to dinner Thursday night and overdid it and didn't finish your dinner until 11 o'clock at night. Okay, Friday might be a one-day reset. Easy. What do? Well, you wake up. You might have that cup of tea. Maybe you still do your cup of coffee. No problem. You don't have to cut that out. Okay? We just don't want to overdo. Maybe you wake up, you do your daily fruit and vegetable blend. A little squeeze of lemon or lime, a little pinch of sea salt. Good. An hour and a half later, you're not going to do a shake. You're not going to do a smoothie. Okay, typically I recommend the smoothie in the morning. Today, you're just going to fill up your shaker bottle with 1 scoop of the daily nutritional support, chocolate or vanilla, and you're going to shake it up with water, just room temperature water. You can do cold if you have to, but warm is always better. So we shake it up, and you sip on that over the course of an hour. Okay, 20 ounces, 24-ounce shaker bottle, shake it up, and that's it. Super simple. If you have our all-in-one Pro Stack shaker, you can actually put the scoops all on the bottom of it. It comes with its own little travel containers attached to it. Then after, let's say you do that at 8 o'clock, somewhere around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I'll give you the PDF of this, but it's obviously pretty straightforward. You're going to do one more scoop, 20 ounces of water, 24 ounces of water. Shake it up, drink it over the course of an hour. Another 3.5 hours or so later, around 3:30, you will do your third shake. And that will be one scoop of daily nutritional support powder. And again, you can use your favorite all-in-one. You don't have to use the Equilibrium Nutrition one, whatever you want. But I'm giving you the way that we've done it now for many years, and it's been very successful. Keeps you satiated enough, gives you the amino acids, give you the detox components, the energy, the B vitamins, all that great stuff, so that you're energized. I want to give you one more reason why this works so well, but you'll do that around 3:30 or so. And again, I'll give you that PDF today. Just head on over to stephencabral.com/1356, and we'll call this one like the one-day reset diet again, part 2. So that's what we're doing. Why does it also work so well? Because most people also don't drink any water. So if you need to flush your blood, you need to flush your liver, you need to flush your intestines, your everything, your body is 2/3 water, you need to hydrate yourself. Most people simply don't drink enough water. So what if you woke up, you had 12 ounces of water or so with your daily fruit and vegetable blend powder, or you did a tea, and then let's just say you did another 60, 70 ounces in your shakes for the day. Okay, well, if we look at that, that's about 80 ounces, your morning water and then the water throughout the rest of the day. Let's just say it's 10 plus 70 for easy math from my own brain. We're looking at 10 glasses of water before dinner. So you're super hydrating your body already before dinner. That is what's going to allow you. Remember, one of the best ways to get this stuff out of your body, bowel movement or urine. So again, as you're trying to flush, you need water. And that's such a critical component that a lot of people miss. I did a podcast, but it was basically when to drink water, how much water to drink, and there it is, episode 1300. So if you want to check that one out, that was a pretty popular little show. And I know it might sound strange, it's like how much water do you need to drink, but you can go through it and it actually works. And it works really well. And it's not just straight water. Sometimes you want to add sometimes a little bit of electrolytes, and that's what's in the shake too. So I do this quite often, especially if I'm feeling like a little bit like hypoglycemic, a little lightheaded. The 3 shakes every 3.5 hours so throughout the day. It just works amazingly well. And then that night, Monday night, my family has no idea that I was fasting all day. I come home 24 hours after I just had my last meal. Let's say it was 6 o'clock or so the night before. I come home and I have dinner with my family right around, let's say, the 5:30, 6 o'clock hour. And we all eat together. And I'm breaking my fast 24 hours later. And if you tuned into last Friday's podcast, on Mondays, I'm always doing a Ayurvedic 24-hour fast, which is the hot water throughout the day, or I'm doing the one-day reset diet. And again, if I'm feeling lightheaded or lower energy because that big meal the day before, that cheat meal, or travel, because it doesn't have to just be food-based, or it might be a lot of travel, run around, my body just doesn't feel right. What I try to do is I'm using this fasting day to expend less energy and allow my body to detox at a much greater potential. So on those days, it's super simple. I'm coming home that night and I'm doing a plant-based, easy-to-digest dinner, and I'm enjoying that with my family. So again, these are all things that you're able to implement in your life wherever you're at right now. But I can tell you this, is that they all add up. And over time, you become a much healthier human being because of it. Remember, you are the sum of every action that you take. So if you start to get more sporadic in your sleep, more sporadic in your nutrition, more sporadic in your diet, more sporadic in your stress, your body's not going to know whether it's coming or going, right? It's going to be always confused, and that's exhausting, and it causes anxiety, and it makes you feel overwhelmed. The best thing you can do for your body is to create rhythms and routines. And the best thing that I've ever done, for sure, to get my body on a rhythm and routine is every season I do the detox. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, what else can I do? Okay, well, just 2 cheat meals per week maximum. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then this is the days it's typically going to be, and I'm going to get my sleep into kind of a rhythm and routine. And then, okay, when I do that cheat meal over the weekend, whatever it might be, okay, and then on Monday, I reset my diet just like I reset the week. And that's how I look at it. And so if this was helpful for you, if you think it would work for you, I would love you to try it. We use the Daily Nutritional Support Shake Powder. I'll link up to it, but you can use your favorite all-in-one. But it should have all your vitamins and all your minerals to power you through the day. And then if it works for you, the best thing that you can do, people always write in and they say, hey, how can I, I'm super appreciative of, like, how can I thank you? What can I do? The best thing that you can do is just share the information with other people. I mean, can you imagine, forget about just the meatless Mondays. I mean, that's great too. But can you imagine if we had people fasting for 1 day a week. And then they did a detox every 12 weeks. I mean, think about the health we would create in the world. It'd be unbelievable. So if this podcast was helpful, as always, I just simply ask you that you share it with anyone you believe it could serve. And I will link up all the documents today at stephencabral.com/1356. Take care, everyone. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stephencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.